Hey everybody, it's Yuki once again, giving you guys today's video, and today we are going to be talking about what could happen starting next week as we prepare for the second half of the summer season. And I want to go over some new things I want to try, including a channel realignment. This is something I've been thinking about for a while based on what I've seen and what I have observed in during the last couple of weeks. Now, obviously, some of the numbers will be skewed because I was on vacation for about 2 weeks in Paris and Italy, and that is going to play into the numbers. And because I did upload during my vacation, the numbers are going to be skewed a little bit when we get into statistics and numbers. So let's talk about the channel realignment, what's upcoming, what I'm thinking about, and all that good stuff. So these are all the channels that you know me for based on what I've been doing here on YouTube. And you can see that we have a lot of channels. I have categorized each one of them based on the content that is provided in each of them. For example, on the first section, we have what we call the gaming channels. That is Yuki Productions, and this is Yuki Gaming, which is coming up next week with our draft of games to play there, like for example, Fallout 3, Baldur's Gate, anything that's not Mario or Sonic, that belongs there. Then you have the reaction channels like the Infinite Zone and Francis the Hedgehog React. Then you have what I call the so-called containment channels. These are channels where it's specific for that type of content. For example, you have Mario Maker Yuki LA, you have Mario Maker Yuki, you have Mario Yuki LA. Although both of them have something to do with Mario. You have Yuki Travel Productions, which starts soon. That pertains to traveling, my travels across the world. That's why I went on vacation to take a look at like vacation like Italy, France, the Eiffel Tower, Pompeii, all those. Then we have Indie Yuki, which is about indie games. Then you have the last one there, which is Yuki's game development area, which will return soon as a different name. Then you have the experimental stuff, the Yuki's Virtual Tabletop, which is about Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop RPG gaming, all those things. Then you have SPT Adventures, single player Tarkov, which begins soon. I am waiting for one more mod before we start for real. And that mod I'm waiting for is I have the realism mod, but I'm waiting for algorithmic level progression. Then you have VR Productions, which could be getting a second branch. I'll explain in a moment. So, what do the numbers say based on the main channel? Because all the other channels are going to be played in here. First, with what I have noticed and what the numbers tell me. Mario, any Mario game, most likely. VR chat, any VR chat content, live, and Delta Emulator, which just started, leads the way in terms of views and content presented. All those I just mentioned have more views than other content. The second main point is competition games like Fortnite and XXY and fall behind in the views, with the exception of Rocket League, which is still being tested. I don't play a lot of Rocket League, I'll tell you now, but it's being tested, and right now it's looking like the better one of the three. The third section is content ideas also work on the main channel. We'll talk about it in a moment. Let's first talk about the top three content, the Mario stuff. The second point on the Mario stuff is Mario Builder 64, which started recently, has been overtaking Mario Maker in terms of views. For example, the recent one we did, I believe it was on Monday, that had over 100 views. Mario Maker, in order for it to get 100 views, has to have two streams of Mario Maker. Mario Builder 64 did it in one. Most likely because it just came back, or because he liked the levels presented. But Mario Builder 64 is taking over. At least for the moment. We'll see what happens on Monday of next week. Then we have Delta Emulator, which is the emulator that I talked about a few times on the channel in gaming news, where it was just started. It just started. I'll tell you now, it just started, and I uploaded two videos during my vacation in Paris. Those two videos combined have more views than three Shady VR chat content combined. What am I talking about? For example, if we take a look at the statistics for a Shady VR chat live stream, it has to be live for this to count. The recent one for Shady was yesterday, I believe, when I returned to VR chat. Okay, that got 91 views. Okay, but at the time it got 70. We're going to assume that a Shady VR chat is 70, not 91, because this was updated every day because new people watch. If we take a look at 70, or other VR chat streams with Shady, most likely 60 to 70. If we take that into consideration over one Mario Builder 60, over one Delta emulator video, we have to take it by 70 because that's what I saw first. 70 times 3 is only 210. Now, 210 is not bad in terms of views. But if we take a look at the Delta emulator videos combined, and I'm only talking about the first two, the flower cup and the mushroom cup. Combine, those are over 300 views, 400 views if you combine the numbers, 187 and 260. That should be over 400. That would mean for a Shady VR chat stream to overtake Delta, that would mean four VR chat streams with Shady, and it has to have 70 views. 7, 14, 21, 28, 280. Actually, more than 4. 8 views, 8 streams of Shady, back to back to back to back, and it has to have 70 views plus in order to beat one Delta Emulator, two Delta Emulator video. That's wild. So that's why I've seen in that regard. Next, let's talk about the competition games. X Defiant will get a bit of a pass in terms of like lower viewership because it is brand new. It's a brand new game that a lot of people are still learning about. It's this new game. So for those example, for those of you who are not aware, X Defiant just came out. I believe it was last month, and there's a brand new season, season one that just started, and we have new game modes and new maps. But because the game just started, I'm giving it a little bit of a grace when it comes to numbers. So X Defiant is still gonna have like a presence along with Fortnite. However, the reason why I'm not giving Fortnite a pass than X Defiant is because we've been doing Fortnite for a while, and the numbers are still not there. So that's why I'm giving X Defiant a pass because it's just started, yada yada yada. But Fortnite, we've been doing this for about a few years. X Defiant has only been out for a month or two. Now let's talk about the content ideas. So for those of you who are not aware, a few months ago, we tried out a new idea based on a channel called Chiz Plays. So Chiz Plays does this new thing called imperialism. So if you guys do not know, imperialism was a thing back in the way old days. Like you take somebody's land and all that good stuff. This is the same thing, but in a video game. So, for example, in Mario Party 3, we did the one-on-one duels. You have to spin a wheel to see the character, then the way they attack. If the winner takes the loser's land and goes on into this like kind of imperialism tournament, the winner of the season, which I did at the time, would be the boss of the season, the next season, and then the other characters fight it out, and they will play the boss. Whoever wins beats the boss for the next season, and so on and so forth. So based on that, it's been it looking good. I think you guys like those ideas. Although I don't want to just do Mario Party imperialism. I'm just doing that as an example based on an idea from another content creator, in this case, Fistplay. The next experiment is tabletop gaming, i.e., TTRPG, i.e., i.e., there is a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon one I am working on, but I'm gonna make different rules because the one I found is very complicated. Anyway, tabletop gaming, Dungeons and Dragons, Pokemon, maybe one for Mario. And for this, I'm using Roll20. It's a website where you can play tabletop gaming virtually. Usually you play this in person, but my group is spread out. So yeah. But there will be more content ideas like that in the channel later on in the future. So for example, if I decided to try Mario Party Imperialism again, we could make it to where the winner of the season has to play the winner of last season in a best of seven series in its own episode to determine the winner. Kind of fashion, okay? Next, let's talk about possible mergers. Like channels coming together or channels being traded, something like you would see in a sports. So the first one I was thinking of is Mario Maker Yuki and Mario Yuki would combine together and form a new channel called Yuki's Mario Zone. Makes sense. Makes sense. All the Mario stuff is in there. Okay, it makes sense. All the Mario stuff is in there. Mario Maker. You have Mario. You have the Mario ROM hack. You have the stuff like that. Mario Classic Mario. Mario World, if you wish. Let's see if you guys like the idea. The second one is kind of like a trade and a plus and a new channel itself. We have Francis the Hedgehog React plus the Infinite Zone would become the new channel, the Francis Squad, or we can have a trade and put those channels on the main channel and as a new section, the Reaction Zone. So either one would work. Either one would play out. You can only choose one if you wish. Okay, why is this a trade? Because you're putting two channels on one. That's why. Two channels on one. The next one is kind of interesting. I take Francis the Hedgehog React, Francis the Hedgehog Plays, Francis the Hedgehog VRC, trade it to the main channel, and put it as a new section called Francis the Hedgehog Playground. Makes sense. It's all about him. Okay? That's one of the trades possible. Now, what would the channel alignment be looking like if we decide to go with all three? This is assuming that everything is a trade and everything is put on different channels. So here's what it would look like. I have to go left to right here. And there are some channels that I have not talked about a little bit yet. So Yuki Productions would remain the same, but would add a Francis the Hedgehog React, Francis the Hedgehog VRC, Francis the Hedgehog Plays, and the Infinite Zone, along with the regular stuff that I would put on there. Yuki Gaming would stay the same because it's a brand new channel, by the way, and it's going to have a gaming draft. So we're gonna have a draft. You guys are gonna vote on games to put on there. The first one is automatic. It's Fallout 3, but you guys get to pick. Okay. Then Indie Yuki is going to be part of the gaming channel community, which makes sense because it's a gaming channel, but specifically for indie games. And there's actually one game I'm gonna get that's looking like Paper Mario. There was a chance that I was going to add one more channel to this, but I want to see if you guys want the idea. The other idea is Yuki's Retro Zone. Does anybody know where I'm getting that from? That's right, down to emulator. With the emulator now on iPhone, I can play these games and upload it for you on the channel. See if you guys like that idea. So you can voting for two things very soon. Do you want the new alignment and do you want that new channel? It's going to be called Yuki's Retro Zone. But if you combine Yuki and Retro together as two words into one, and if you reverse the order, does anybody know what you get? You get Retro Yuki. As in the original name of the main channel before I started changing. Get it? Good. The next section is our containment channels or content. Yuki's Travel Productions is going to be its own thing because it's not gaming. Yuki's Mario Zone or Yuki's Mario World, whatever the name would contain all the Mario Maker, Mario 64 ROM hack, and Mario Builder 64. You may be wondering what happened to the classic Mario. The classic Mario games are gonna be on the main channel because we're going live with those on Wednesdays usually. This last one is Yuki's Dev Zone and or Yuki Game Dev. This is gonna be me making games with Unity. Like legit games, not VR chat games. Like legit download this on Unity thing. The next one is experimental channel. This includes the following: Yuki's Virtual Tabletop. We just started with this, so that's why it's experimental. Tabletop RPG games like D&D or the Pokemon one that we're about to play. Yuki's SPT Adventures is single-player Tarkov content. Now, the reason why we have not started yet, as I mentioned earlier, is because I'm waiting for one of the mods to be updated to the new version of SPT, which is the mod of I have real. It's the other one. Keep forgetting its name though. But I know I have Saint, Swag Donut, and Realism. Oh, algorithmic level progression. I'm waiting for that mod to be updated because that's the mod where all the bots are forced to spawn with the gear based on your level. Right now, I've been seeing bots are spawning with level 5, and I'm only level 1. That's why it's to balance it out to make it a little bit more manageable. Right now, it's semi-manageable with all the new stuff I've been adding, but it's not manageable to the point where, oh, I can start playing easily. No, this is not an easy game even with mods. That's why I'm waiting for augmented level progression to make it a little bit more manageable than normal. Okay? And those are your channels if we guys go with the alignment. Now, if you be wondering, where's all the VR chat roleplay stuff? That would be considered to be on the main channel and on Yugi VR production. Now, there is one caveat to all of this, and this has to do with Yugi VR production because this can go one of two ways. The one first way, which is most likely going to happen, is all the VR chat stuff is there, along with the main channel. Or the second way, which is going to cost $300, is VR content, and I'm not talking about VR chat. I'm legit talking about like its own thing, like VR games, and I'm not talking about VR chat here. I'm talking about legit VR games that is made specifically for VR on Yuki's VR Productions. If I do not get a headset, it becomes a VR chat channel. If I do get a headset, it becomes a VR channel. So you can see what I see in like a game like there's a apparently my cousins yesterday told me there's a VR game that looks like Tarkov in VR. That belongs there. That would belong there. Beat Saber is a VR game. That belongs there. So it would depend on what happens in the next few months. Do I get a headset and make it a VR production channel, or do I keep it VR chat and keep it as is? And even if I get a headset, VR chat is a VR game, VR experience, and therefore there's still stuff on there. Okay, but that's going to be a topic for another day. Now, let me know what you think. Do you like the alignment? If you do, vote for it. Okay? You have two things to vote for. Do you like this alignment? And the other thing you're going to vote for is, do you want me to add a channel specifically for Delta Emulator? Um, Delta Emulator, and I'm talking about the games like the Delta, like the Mario Kart DS and all that. And remember, we could go live with those. There is a way to go live with these. Okay? Maybe I can make my custom skin my own way. Like I can take the DS thing on the Delta emulator. I can just overlay it with my own skin and in like a graphic programming thing. That kind of thing. So that could be a possibility. Okay? So let me know what you think. Go ahead and vote. By the time this video is up, the post will be ready. Enjoy, and we'll see you when we come back to streaming on Monday with Mario Mondays. Enjoy. We will see you guys very soon. We'll give you guys the result of the polls throughout the weekend, and we'll see what happens. Enjoy, and we'll see you guys very soon.